Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Rosslares Flagship Access Control Panel, the AC-825 session. This session is a continuation of the Rosslares Main Access Control Panel session. My name is Giora. I'm a pre-sale engineer at Rosslares Security Products, and thank you for joining us on this presentation. But before we start with the presentation itself and dive into details, let's talk a little about Rosslare. We've been in the access control business since the 80s, 35 years of experience in the security area. We specialize in access control, though we also have a couple of other product lines, but access control is our core business. We have in-house R&D teams, and all the design and manufacturing are fully done in-house, using world-class manufacturing facilities. Our development is done basically at three major locations: USA in North America, China, and Israel. Our primary markets are commercial entities, government institutions, educational facilities, along with other public and private businesses. I will present you today in this session the Rosslares flagship access control panel, the AC-825 and its expansion modules. As I mentioned, this session is a continuation of the Rosslares main access control panels session that we had before, in which we talked about Rosslares core panels. We said in the former session that we have four main access controllers at Rosslare, four main panels. We have the AC-215, the AC-225, the AC-425, and the last and not least, the AC-825. At the previous session, we focused on our three legacy panels, which are the 215, the 225, and the 425. And now we are setting another session, especially about our new big panel, the AC-825, which is our flagship controller, a workhorse panel that is fully expandable. So now I will run you through our AC-825 panel and its expansion modules. And here is a picture of the AC-825 and its four expansion modules. The AC-825 is our big panel. It is the panel that is going to take you towards the enterprise level. It is a 6 doors out-of-the-box panel, 4 Weekend and 2 OSDP, expandable to 10 doors when adding and installing the D805 expansion modules that will add to the AC-825 another 4 doors and will take it up to 10 doors. You just mount the D805 daughterboard expansion board directly on top of the AC-825 motherboard as a piggy bag, and you've got up to 10 doors out of the box. We will see in the upcoming slides that the AC-825 can expand far beyond that, using an OSDP protocol over RS-485 bus, adding up to 12 expansion modules over the RS-485 bus. And that is besides the one expansion board that we mentioned that can be installed and can be mounted on the 825 motherboards as a piggy bag. All these 13 expansion boards can take the AC-825 totally up to 56 doors, and with the two OSDP readers, it can even reach up to 58 doors. Keeping in mind on that all the panels also have a wiring diagram right on the inside of the cabinet door, so it makes it very nice and easy for wiring. And another thing to know, the 825 cabinet, like all our B-series cabinet, got the illumination bar built in up across the top of the cabinet. And this is what we can see up here. The illumination bar is actually on a cable, so you can remove it and use it like a stick, like a wand, a flashlight wand, to be able to see what all is going in the cabinet. So even if you're in a dark IT closet, it is very easy to read the wiring diagram on the door thanks to the light coming from the illumination bar. And now in the upcoming slides, I will drill down a little bit more about the AC-825 access controller and its expansion modules. So like we said, the 825 is our large panel, our big panel, and it is expandable. It has a very neat way of expanding. We will talk about the expandability aspect of it in the next slides. You can use up to 100,000 users on the AC-825 and up to 500,000 event logged. Like we said before, it has 6 doors out of the box, 4 using Wiegand readers and 2 using OSDP readers. These 6 doors are with 2 inputs and 1 output for each door. That makes it 12 inputs and 6 outputs in total. Up to 2 amps at 13.8 volts DC available to power your locks. This is DC for the panels, so keeping that in mind. Of course, most hardware today is dual voltage, so it should not be an issue. And one thing I do want to touch about and emphasize on all our panels is that we have onboard lock power. We can do up to 2 amps of lock power out of any one of our cabinets. So this is a very nice advantage. You know, for example, a 1200-pound maglock at peaks is drawing about half amp. So to do a strike or to do a 1200-pound maglock right out of the panel itself saves you on cost, on your upfront equipment cost, and allows you to be more competitive in your bids. This panel is connected to the Access NG server over TCP/IP, and it is AES 128-bit encrypted. And we use bidirectional push communication between the panel and the server for enhanced data transmission. The 825 has 4 types of expansion modules. And as we said, it has a very neat way of expanding. One nice thing about the 825 is the expandability aspect of it that actually reduces your cost compared to the competition, and I will explain that to you in a minute. As I noted before, we have 4 different types of expansions. We have the R805 that provides additional 16 outputs. We have the S805 that provides additional 16 inputs. And we have the D805 that provides additional 4 doors, meaning 4 Wiegand reader ports, and also 8 inputs and 4 outputs. And last, we have the P805 that provides additional 16 inputs and 8 outputs. As we said, one expansion board can be mounted directly on top of the motherboard of the AC-825 as a piggy bank, and up to 12 additional expansion modules with any combination of R, S, D, and P can be installed using OSDP over RS-485 bus. That means that you don't have to install your expansion board there at the controller side. You can have the expansion board spread on the RS-485 bus throughout the facility as long as you don't exceed the 3,000 feet. It's about 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer. So utilizing these 13 expansion boards plus the 4 onboard Wiegand reader ports, you can reach up to 56 doors. Please note that 2 OSDP readers are also available on the RS-485 bus with the AC-825, and that can bring you up to 58 doors. And as we are talking about the expansion, the thing to remember here is what we see in the picture. This is the ME1515. This is a 2 expansion cabinet. So with the RS-485, you're going to connect them to the panel. And we have a very nice diagram that really explains this simply, how to add this expansion cabinet. And this is the reason why I was talking about the fact that your cost actually going down relatively as the system grows versus the competition. Because once you buy the AC-825 and you add the ME1515 and then you add the appropriate expansion boards, you can expand it to 8 doors, to 16 doors, to 24 doors and up. But the thing is that you don't need to buy another motherboard, another access control panel. If you want to grow to a very large system, you just add expansion boards as needed. And this is much cheaper than buying another motherboard or more. It saves you a lot on cost. If you take this for instance and compare it to other vendors, if you take the controller beyond its max 8 dose capacity, you have to add yet another motherboard. Well, that is a very cost prohibitive way of doing things. While with us, with Rosslares, you just simply add expansion boards and bring the system up to 56, 58 doors. This way, the cost is less than half if you compare it to a case in which you have to buy some other motherboards, and that is what makes the AC-825 a very affordable solution. What also makes this a very affordable solution is once again the fact that each one of these panels has the lock power built in, and you don't have to buy any or you don't have to buy and rely on other equipment, and that also saves you a lot on cost. And here we go. So here is an AC-825. If you look at the upper right side of the slide here, about here, you can see an AC-825. And then you can see two ME1515 next to it, these two cabinets. Actually, you are looking at 84 door solution right now. And see how simple it is. Just by this setup right here, we easily got a solution for 84 doors for a lot less money than it would be if you would implement it with competitor systems. With our system, you are cutting your cost, and as the system grows, your costs relatively go down. And here is an implementation of top facility with DIN rail mount. You can take a look on the left side of the picture here. Those are all our expansion boards on a DIN rail. On the top right of the picture, here, you can see our 825 board. This solution here is a good example of utilizing the DIN rail opportunity and buying only the PCB versus buying the cabinet itself. The AC-825 is the panel you are going to be using if you are going into the elevator control business. You will see that the R805 expansion module that provides additional outputs is going to be your expansion you'll use for elevators. But first of all, you do need to put one AC-825 per elevator with that R805 or for at least one R805. You've got to have a controller, an AC-825 per elevator, and then you can use as many R805 as you need, but only for that elevator. So if you've got 32 floors that you are trying to control, you need one AC-825 and two R805s, as every R805s give you 16 outputs, and with two of them, you've got 32 outputs in total. But if you've got four elevators, you would need four AC-825s, one AC-825 for each elevator, and each AC-825 with two R805s for 32 floors. Keeping in mind also that the panel does not have to be just for your elevator control. You still can utilize the doors on the AC-825 as well. So if you have an AC-825 for elevator control, you can use those other reader ports to control other doors that are within reach. So that way they are not totally wasted. But remember, you can't have multiple elevators control off a single panel. It is just the way the software works. And for more details regarding setup, connections, and wiring, you can refer to our elevator control webinar presented by our Global Technical Support Director, Mr. Miki Markovich. You can find it easily on YouTube. And as a summary, ending our presentation, I will run you shortly through our four main access control panels again using this comparison table. So as we saw in our two sessions about Rosslares access control panels, in this session and in the former one, we have four main controllers with Rosslares. We have the basic one, the AC-215, which is a two doors out of the box panel. It is not expandable, so keep that in mind. If you are looking to upsell a customer, you're going to have difficulty with the 215. So remember that. The AC-215 is a two-door out-of-the-box panel. It has a capability of 30,000 users, unlimited access groups, and events up to 20,000. But once again, maximum readers are two. The next panel app is very popular and is a good seller. It is the AC225. This is a great panel. It is still two doors out of the box, but you can simply add a daughterboard or an or expansion board to it, the MDDO2, and you're taking it up to four doors. Once again, 30,000 max numbers of users, unlimited access groups, and 20,000 events, and you can take it up to four doors versus two doors. The next panel is a big seller as well. It is the AC-425, a four-door out-of-the-box panel similar to the former two panels as far as users and events. The nice thing about the AC-425 is that you can indeed take it up to 8 doors by simply installing an MDDO4 on the motherboard. By the way, all these controllers are IP panels. They are networkable. And finally, the panel that is probably our most popular and is probably a number one seller, it is what we call a workhorse panel, and our biggest panel that is fully expandable, the AC-825 that we had talked about in this session. So I will summarize that the AC-825 is onboard 4 Wiegand reader ports with additional 2 OSDP readers. We can take it beyond the 6 doors out of the box by adding a D805 expansion module, which provides additional 4 doors, and with this you can take it up to 10 doors out of the box. The thing to remember with the AC-825 is that you can have up to 100,000 number of users, unlimited number of access groups, and 500,000 events. Okay, that's it. Thank you for being with us. Here is my contact information, my email, and my cell phone. If there is any question on what we have covered so far, you are more than welcome to contact me by mail or by phone. So, see you then, and I wish you a great day. Bye.